There are a lot of new features in HALion 5 to help you make new and exciting sounds from the ground up. Among them are two new sound engines, the Granular Synthesis engine and the Organ Oscillator. There are also new features for the editing of samples, such as the ability to slice and reconfigure the individual slices to reshape any sample to fit with a beat or a track. The Flex Phraser now has a user mode that allows you to create your own patterns and phrases with the new phrase editor, and it lets you export phrases and arpeggios. The new Midi Player lets you load and import up to 8 MIDI files into dedicated slots. The new Drum Player module adds a step sequencer designed specifically to drive drum beats and rhythm tracks directly within HALion 5. That's not all. There are new instruments such as the new synths, Auron, Trium, and Voltage to bring your virtual analog tracks to life. There are also new classic instruments such as the tape bank keyboard HALiotron and the astonishingly authentic new tone wheel organ Model C. If you're into world music, you're going to love the new world instruments and world percussion programs. If you loved HALion 4's effects, you'll be happy to hear that HALion 5 boasts 9 new sumptuous effects that will put that final polish on your sound designs. This is no simple upgrade. HALion 5 is the apex of sound design. With so many sound sources to choose from and so many editing features and effects, you would be hard-pressed not to find the perfect combination for your sound design projects. So without further ado, let's dig into the first new feature. Getting a sample or loop to fit into your project has never been easier with HALion 5. Without any external application, you can slice, quantize, and modify a sample within seconds to achieve that perfect synchronicity between your sound design ideas and your current project. You can either drag and drop a sample from anywhere on your computer to a zone in HALion, or peruse through the built-in folder tree in the browser to find that perfect sample source from your collection. Once a sample is in HALion, choose the sample view under Edit, and HALion automatically detects hit points by the transients for the best possible marker position for each slice. With a little tweaking, you can zero in on the beats that you want. You can also set the slice editor to grid, and the slices will be created according to the beat. Click Apply, and now the sample is divided into individual zones for editing. You can even apply individual filter settings to each slice for added effect. Instead of selecting each slice and applying filter settings, you can choose a parameter such as filter cutoff or resonance and edit each zone in the sample view with breakneck speed. You can export a MIDI ramp with the playing order of the samples with a simple drag and drop into Cubase, and your loop is ready to go. You can even reorder the samples with a quick trip to the editor in Cubase. I could spend a whole day explaining how awesome this feature is, but there's so much more to discover in HALion 5. So let's move on to the Flex Phraser. In the new Flex Phraser user mode, there are now plenty of ways to reconfigure and create new and expressive patterns to push the envelope, so to speak, on the classic arpeggiator. After selecting a phrase from the phrase browser, you can modify the pitch, velocity, and length of any step. You can remove steps by disabling them, and even edit the 2 individual controller lanes for modifying filters and effects. Now that's expressive control that you won't find in any other arpeggiator to this extent. If you like programming drum beats from an interface, rather than playing them in by keyboard or drum pad, you're going to flip out for the new Drum Player. Add the Drum Player to your custom drum kit program and create that perfect beat with ease and familiarity in this intuitive, classic programming interface. If you have a beat that you're particularly fond of, drag that pattern anywhere on your computer or directly into Cubase for further use or editing. The new Midi Player lets you import MIDI files into HALion to drive your programs. MIDI files can be just dragged from your file browser into the Midi Player and are instantly available. In the top right of the Midi Player editor, you can load and save presets for the Midi Player. In addition to the selected MIDI phrases, these presets also contain the performance settings of the Midi Player, such as tempo, tempo scale, loop, and swing. If you're interested in sound sources, there are plenty of them to choose from, including the new Granular Synthesis engine and the new tone wheel organ oscillator. The idea behind Granular Synthesis is that only a tiny piece or tiny pieces of a sample are used to create elaborate and creative sounds that you wouldn't find in normal reality. It's quite fascinating when you open an existing program that uses the Granular Synthesis engine and look behind the macro page. Let's load the first preset in Oron's list, a Baden choir. There are some chords on the trigger pads that demonstrate the fantastic bright and smooth sound of the preset. But now let's listen to the original sample that is used to create this pad. Amazing, isn't it? Once you're done creating a sound with any one of the many new incredible features in HALion 5, it's time to put the polish on your almost finished masterpiece. Choose up to 8 of the already complete collection of effects, or try one of the 9 pristine new effects in HALion 5. The new effects include the now famous Vst Amp technology from Cubase, with of course the new wah-wah, the shockingly cool auto filter, the tape saturator for tape compression, the ring modulator, the step flanger, vintage ensemble, envelope shaper, and the octaver for seamless pitch shift. There are plenty more improvements in HALion 5 that were developed according to the wishes and ideas of our customers. If you're new to HALion, or already a seasoned user, you won't want to miss out on the incredible advancements in technology in Steinberg's latest version of the ultimate VST sampler and sound creation system, HALion 5.